This week on Soundwaves TV, singer-songwriter Ellaharp returns to the studio. We have a live from the Complex performance from rising star Jared Harper, and we'll check in on the local music scene. Are your favorite bands and venues okay in 2025? This is Soundwaves TV.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Soundwaves TV. I'm Stephen Kirk. Hey, look, it's Chasta. Hey, look, it's Dennis Willis.
Hey! And
we drink.
Carry on, Steve. I'm going to drink.
Yeah, please go right ahead. Hey, welcome back. You know, we have been taking a look at the music scene for over 40 years now. And one of the things that we've done, now that we're celebrating our 8th season of the new iteration of Soundwaves here, is we've really honed our focus into the local scene.
Yeah.
You know? And it's not just the local bands, it's the local venues, it's everything music in the Bay Area. And what we want to do today is we want to kind of take a look. We want to take stock in what's happening in the local scene these days. Economics being what they are, people don't have the discretionary funds that they may have had last year, the last couple of years where things were a little bit better.
Yeah.
You know, if you're spending $15 on a dozen eggs, are you going to be able to go out and go to a club kind of thing? So let's start locally, and then we'll talk globally next time, you know, but let's look close.
Okay. Start close to home, close to the heart, if you will. I have noticed recently, I've been going out to a lot of local shows, and I will say I went to Neck of the Woods in San Francisco, like Ocean Beach area.
Oh, nice, yeah.
And,
Fun place.
And it was for a Midriff show. Midriff, a great band. Check them out. They're going to be playing at Outside Lands this year. I'm so excited.
Yay.
They're a fairly new band, but they have like, I don't know, 1.5 million monthly views on or listens on Spotify, which is incredible. So the reason I know them is because Kai Nukerman, the drummer, of course, is formerly of The Alive and is Jay's star student. Jay has taught him.
We've had them on the show before.
Jay's
That's
like
cool.
his, uncle.
Yeah.
Literally. So anyways, we went to see him and we walked in and we were like, holy crap, it's packed. And not only is it packed, but it was kids. It was
wow, nice.
And it was kids dressed like it was 1995.
Nice.
And there was a part of me that wanted to do the curmudgeon thing of like, oh God, I feel so old, like docs are back and big flare jeans.
No, but you didn't, did you?
But I didn't. And I went, oh my God, this is so wonderful. No one had their phones out. The kids were in a pit. And then this is a bigger scale, obviously, but going to the Deftones, I do need to make this bridge because it was the same exact thing when I went to see the Deftones at the Chase Center. We're on the floor and we're in the middle of the pit, and I look around and I'm like, I'm the oldest person I see.
That's awesome.
Like there were, Jay looked at me and he goes, "These are kids." I was like, "Yes!" It was amazing. So I am seeing a lot of local shows pop off, and it does seem to be a lot of kids. Places like Bottom of the Hill, which will often have all ages shows.
Right.
Old Princeton Landing, always all ages shows. And these kids are coming out in force.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, it makes me so happy.
But that's the way you got to do it.
Yeah.
You've got to build that next generation, you know, and there is something to be said for going to a club, getting shit-faced, rocking out to your favorite local bands and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's great for us old farts, you know, but you've got to open a door to the younger generation because they're going to come up. And hey, guess what, bar owners? They'll be 21 someday.
Yeah.
And they'll be back, you know.
I think it's a very smart choice.
Yeah, no, it is. And it does my heart nice to whenever I see those social media posts and it's just like sea of people, you know, because discretionary income is the thing.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to continue this conversation as we go because that's what we do. We take a look at the scene. And we were talking a couple of weeks ago about like what was different from when we started 7 years ago. And what's making me think now about what's going on is like COVID was 5 years ago. Here we are talking about like 5 years. It's a 5-year anniversary. Mm-hmm. Well, let's remember what that was like. People weren't going to shows because they couldn't go to shows. I get that. But the ripple effects were that the artists were suffering, the venues were suffering. Yeah. That's why we ended up doing Banding Together.
Yeah.
And I look out and I don't see a rosy economic sort of thing. And again, next week, we're going to talk about the big bands that might be affected by this. I do see a similarly dark sort of thing. And yet, And yet people are, and yet life finds a way. And
It
yet
does.
these clubs are filling up. And yet kids are putting down the TikTok and they're going out and they're rocking out to a band.
Yeah.
So I think that even though the deck is stacked against all of it, to see music connecting with young fans, new fans, local fans, that's why we're here.
It does. It makes your heart soar. I went and saw Sam Chase at the Kilowatt
Yes.
a month or so ago. Also packed and packed all night. Packed from Jay and I went to dinner, and I think we got to the Kilowatt like at 7:30 or 8 because we're early birds, and we sat at the bar and drank for an hour or so. But like it was packed from then on.
Right.
And I thought to myself, like kind of looking to next week's bigger conversation on the bigger scheme of this. But I thought to myself, I wonder if people can't afford the big ticket, so they're going, I can afford $10 or $15 or whatever to go to this bar, or maybe go to a show at a venue that doesn't have a cover charge, but they have dinner, and then they see whoever's playing. You know, so people can still get their entertainment with this great local scene, and thank God we have that in the Bay, for, you know, 10, 15, $20. That's a lot easier to come by.
You know, you can spend thousands of dollars and be Gene Simmons roadie for a day.
Don't.
Or you we'll talk about that later. But you could take that same couple of $1,000, and how many $10, $15, $20 shows can you go see? You can get a whole night of entertainment. You can get
a year's worth of entertainment.
And it's all
then
these
some.
different kinds of music, because that's another one of the great things about the Bay Area is that we do it all.
Yeah, yes,
you know?
we do.
Because there are certain scenes that have a certain vibe and a certain sound and all that sort of stuff. San Francisco, Bay Area, we do it all. And this is an opportunity. Use this as an opportunity to educate yourself about music, because you can spend $15 on a dozen eggs, or you can spend $15 and go out and see a show for 3 or 4 hours and just get your mind blown by this awesome music.
I mean, who needs protein? You know, screw it.
Steve, you bring up a great point, because right now, as we speak in 2025, all you have to do is throw a rock and you're going to see a thriving hip hop scene, a thriving heavy metal scene, a thriving rock scene, a thriving pop scene. Look at noise pop that just happened. It's like every genre right here is popping off. And that's so cool to see.
And there's so much to be said about the city of San Francisco, and we won't go into that. But what they are doing is supporting art and music. Like the first Thursdays, they're putting music back in the street.
Yes.
That's been very popular. So we're bubbling again, and it's great to see.
Yeah, it is. It is.
And one of the things you want to do, we've got our thing. It's the SOUNDWAVES Top 5. Every week we are spotlighting 5 artists that maybe you don't know about yet. And this is exactly what we're talking about. So we're going to let you take a look at the 5 artists this week, not in any particular order, because they're all awesome, but they're awesome enough to be part of the SOUNDWAVES Top 5 this week. But it gives you an opportunity to see some bands maybe you haven't heard of before. You go check their videos out. You go to their websites to see where they're playing. Go drop 5, 10, 15, 20 bucks and go see these guys live, man. Check this out. This is the SOUNDWAVES Top 5 for this week. These are the top 5 artists and songs you need to add to your playlist right now. In no particular order. Pinstock, Going Backwards.
Going backwards, going backwards. Don't want to feel like I'm backwards, not going backwards.
Joy Buzzer, Simone.
I wish that you had a clone. So anytime that you went away, then your twin could stay and I wouldn't be alone.
The Manic Standstill, Reasons Why.
Listen to my reasons why.
Right Proper, Other Side of Me. Jeff and his army of no one. You won.
I'm not worn out. You can't blame me for trying to make the best of my life.
Once again, the SOUNDWAVES Top 5. Those are the 5 songs this week that you need to have on your playlist in no particular order. I'm Dennis Willis, and when I go on 107.7 The Bone, I say I'm the SOUNDWAVES guy, and the reason for that is because I also host a show on the radio called SOUNDWAVES FM. If you are not familiar with it, it is a look at the Bay Area music scene, past, present, and future, and we play a lot of independent artists from all around the Bay Area. You can check it out at soundwavestv.com. Now, I've said it for years on the radio, and I'm going to repeat it here. I think that Pacifica, California, which is located right about in the middle when you're talking about San Francisco to San Jose, this is the musical epicenter of the Bay Area. There I said it, because there's so many amazing artists that come from right here. Not the least of which, the artist with our power pick of the week. His name is Greg Hoy, and you might have seen him in bands like the Royal Panics or his own band, Greg Hoy and the Boys. Not only is he based here in Pacifica, but his entire album was recorded right here at Green Room Music Center. And check this out. This is the album cover of his brand new album called Hit Music, aptly titled. That is the Valimar Station, and it's such a cool photo. And as a point of history, it is a 100-year-old building. And also, as a matter of history, the Soundwaves crew over the years has consumed a lot of alcohol there. So in that spirit, we're going to welcome Greg next week to the studio. This week, he's got the power pick of the week. This is from his brand new album called Hit Music. This is What My People on Soundwaves TV.
Well, thanks, Dennis, for that power pick with Greg Hoy. That was What My People.
Yep.
Joe, I noticed you're wearing a brand new hoodie.
Oh, wait, did you notice that?
Oh my God. I kind of did.
Yeah.
It's pretty obvious where you've been lately. Yeah.
Pliny the Younger, baby.
It was that time of year. Around the time Rusty River finally releases Pliny the Younger, though I did have it way before you because they did release a few weeks before SF Beer Week. But what was the experience? Because you actually experienced the full-on camp out.
Oh, yeah. So
at the tap room, Santa Rosa.
Well, so I'm not going to give away any secrets.
Okay.
Because, you know, it's like everyone will be flooding up there and I'm going to be doing my thing.
Like they do already.
So. But basically, I got up there, got in and out, and in 3 hours, got my 3 Pliny's sippers, then got 3 bottles, and those are in the fridge, chilling, just waiting to be drank.
What'd you think of it this year?
Oh, it was good. It was
Yeah.
good. It was last year. It was it's a little more bitter than last year, I thought.
Yeah.
A little fruitier than last year too. So it was
Nice little balance.
Yeah, it was a nice little balance. It was a nice little mix. But if you guys out there have never done Russian River, Pliny the Younger release, late March, early April, it's a 2-week release.
Yeah.
The beer's amazing.
It is. Everything that Russian River puts out is, top-notch product. I'm not saying that from my biasness of my other breweries that I've worked for before, but, bar none, Russian River, great consistency with their products and just overall incredible beer. And also the tap room, Santa Rosa.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful spot. I still haven't been up to the... up in Winters, I believe, is the other location.
No, the Windsor.
Windsor,
Yep.
excuse me.
That's where we went. Yeah.
I know my California geography.
Winters is kind of close, but
Yeah.
Windsor is So Santa Rosa, the tap room downtown is really cool, real just like a cool laid back spot. The Windsor location is where they do all the brewing and everything.
Yeah, it's a huge facility.
And totally different.
Yeah.
It's like so like high upper crust, top notch, kind of just like cool vibe there. So the other one's kind of like old school, low key, and that one's a little bit high, little bit nicer, fancier, but it's still a great vibe to it.
Of course.
Yeah. So you'll have to go up with me next year.
Might have to. You might have to do a Joe and Joe show on location.
Oh, Joe and Joe show on
Russian River.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dennis, make it happen.
Yeah, we got 2 thumbs up.
All right.
And you know who else who gets 2 thumbs up from us? Our very next guest on the show.
Ellaharp.
Yeah.
So Ellaharp, she was back on the Christmas shows many moons ago, and she performed, and she's awesome.
Yeah.
And since then, she's actually gotten married.
Congratulations.
She joined a band, and she has released an album. So so Ellaharp is coming back to Soundwaves TV, and she'll be here in just a few minutes.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Breakers, voted Pacifica's best daytime restaurant serving classic American breakfast, brunch, and lunch specialties. Great food, friendly staff, and amazing views with outdoor, dog-friendly seating. Life is better at Breakers. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Rockaway Beach. Check out the menu and plan your next visit at ilovebreakers.com.
Please consider helping us continue our mission of lifting and supporting independent music by becoming a Soundwaves patron. In exchange, you'll be the first to see and hear all of our weekly shows, as well as have access to exclusive content. Just go to patreon.com/SoundwavesTV.
SoundwavesTV.com is your official home for Soundwaves merch. From coffee mugs to a variety of barware, hats, exclusive tees, and the exclusive Soundwaves commemorative challenge coin. Get all your shopping done at SoundwavesTV.com.
Hey everyone, you're watching Soundwaves TV. Chasta here, and I am absolutely thrilled to have a muse in music and in my personal life, someone I look up to truly, Miss Ellaharp, back with us on Soundwaves TV.
Hi, Chasta.
It's been forever.
I know.
2019. I actually looked it up
Crazy.
because a couple days ago I was like, gosh, I get to talk to Ella on International Women's Day, by the way. Not when you're watching this, but when we're filming it. And I was like, gosh, it's been a long time since we've had you on the show. And I looked and it was 2019. I was like, holy hell, like
Yeah.
that's a lifetime. Anything pre-COVID.
Truly- oh my God, yeah. And in so many ways, even just for me as well, that
Yeah.
it feels like it's just a totally different entire world.
You're kind of a different, almost person at this point.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
You've had 2 full new albums in the last 5-ish years.
Yep.
A new band, not
Yep.
even really new anymore, but
Yeah.
newish since then. And you're married.
And I am. And I hadn't even met my husband last time I was on the show.
Wow.
So
When
that's
did you
pretty
meet your
crazy.
husband, by the way?
In the end of fall, I guess, like September of 2020 or 2019.
Okay,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay, so right after you were on the show.
Yep.
And we were your good luck charm, I guess.
I think you were.
Well, you've been married a couple of months. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
How's it going?
Great.
You're an expert.
I'm an expert. Yeah,
Yes.
2 whole months in.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just floating on air, honestly. I'm still
honeymoon
super excited about it.
phase.
Yeah, I'll take it as long as it lasts.
I just have to tell you. So the way I describe you might make you blush, but I was actually just talking to someone about you, saying, "Oh, have you heard of Ella? Well, she's this ethereal, whimsical, beautiful, angelic woman. And it was so funny when you posted on social about your wedding. I was like, yep, that is Ellaharp's wedding, because you're standing on a bluff and you're in this gorgeous wedding dress that you made.
I did make the dress.
I mean, what? Are you kidding me? Do you see why I said muse? It was just so perfect. You looked stunning. You guys look so happy.
We were really happy. You know, it's a lot easier to take good pictures when you're not lying.
I know, right? Exactly. When you're like, this is my bliss.
We're really happy. Yeah.
That's fantastic. How did the False Bottom Band come to be? Like, how did that work out for you?
So it was the beginning of the pandemic, and I was working at Hot Dogma as a bartender, beer tender.
Hot Dogma, yes.
Love Hot Dogma.
Yeah.
Represent.
Yep.
And I worked on Monday and Wednesday during the day, which is like dead, obviously.
Yeah.
So I'd come in, and at that point we were doing like to-go stuff only, and people couldn't stand in the top room more than one at a time. And so, you know, on a Monday and Tuesday afternoon, it wasn't like hopping.
Yeah.
So
I would imagine.
we started, I mean, Dan and Jesse, Dan Littlefield, who owns the bar, and Jesse Jones, who's the head brewer. And Dan started playing the dobro, or he started like playing with like bottles and stuff on his guitar, and finally got a dobro, and like just was like, you know, I really want to play like some music. So Ella, bring your harp in on Monday, or like bring your harp in on Wednesday. So I'd bring my harp in, and then we'd go out in the hallway and just like start playing stuff, and we'd record it. And then someone would like walk into the bar and be like, hold on, and like run in there and like put the mask on and like, okay, are we good?
A silver lining to the pandemic.
Yeah.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
And so it just was born.
It just kind of went from there. And then we got Lisa Marie involved, who was Lisa Marie Johnson, who's a fantastic singer.
Yes.
And then we got our fiddle player and our mandolin player and then a bass player. And before you know it, we were 7 people.
I was going to say, I knew there were a lot. I didn't know how many exactly.
Yeah, 7. So it started out with just Dan and Jesse would joke that they were the False Bottom Boys, because obviously it's like the, you know, oh brother, where art thou?
Right,
Soggy Bottom Boys. Like, oh, the False Bottom, because they're brewers and they're nerds.
Yeah.
And brewing nerds like to use brewing terminology. So it's like the False Bottom, which is like you think you've hit the bottom, but like there's more to go.
Yeah.
So anyway,
what a great name.
It is a great
band.
name. Yeah. It's hard to explain though. And it gets like miswritten a lot. Like we've been written like in print or on like posters and stuff. We were the Bottom of the Barrel Band.
Oh.
The False Backside Band.
Oh.
And there's a couple of other like humdingers that I can't.
Bottom of the Barrel
recall.
though is kind of
that was good.
Good. That's a
I
good
know.
one.
I was like, okay, well maybe you're just naming us something better than we came up with ourselves.
Yeah. So going back to Ella, how do you balance like Ellaharp solo and the False Bottom Band? Like, what's your vibe, your work-life balance, if you will?
My work-life balance.
As if that even exists.
Yeah, I mean, if it does.
Yeah.
I mean, I love playing with the band. The band's been amazing. And honestly, you know, it's so hard being a solo artist. I mean, it's hard in any iteration of doing it. And obviously there's challenges in having 7 personalities at the same time as well.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's really... you know, when you're a solo artist, you go everywhere alone, and you know, you're being like, "Come and see me."
Yeah,
come out and see me
on social media.
like, come and see me, please. And when you're in a band, it's just like, "Hey, come and see us." And there's so many people, and like, it's a fun vibe. I love it, and I love all these people so much. So just like having the connection between everyone,
community.
Totally. I really love that. So I mean, I suppose with my own music, I just kind of do it in my own time and everything. But I'm way more excited about band gigs than my own gigs for the most time.
That's so interesting. I never really thought of it from a promotional angle, though.
Yeah.
Come see me versus come see us. I'm sure it is a lot easier.
Yeah, I've
been
on like a self-promotion burnout recently. I actually didn't really play very much in the last year. I'm kind of starting to get my groove back in that. But you start to feel like a scam artist. Like every person you see, you're just like waiting for the right time to be like, hi.
It's hard. Well, I'm actually been trying to come out of a burnout phase with social media.
Yeah.
And I got smacked around
at
this table by Mikey Ross, who was like, enjoy the process, which he's right. Enjoy the process.
Yeah.
Easier said than done. Because I'm with you. I'm like, I do radio shows and podcasts, and you're like, listen, check it out. Soundwaves TV. You feel like a promotional machine sometimes.
Right. Yeah.
But it is what we do.
It is what we do.
And you want to put it out. It's your art. This is our art. Like you want to put it out there, but it's a weird balance.
Yeah, it's a weird balance.
To not feel like that. It may have sounded like a joke earlier when I was talking about you with therapy, but it's not, you know, and what you do in the world is putting that positivity out there and is calming somebody that you don't even think about.
Yeah. And it's hard to think of myself in that way. But if I think of obviously other music and how much that's saved my ass, then like, you know, it stands to reason that after doing this so much and having put these albums out, that my music must be that for someone else. And that's, you know, it's helpful to remember that when we are in the depths of our burnout.
Yes.
To be like, you know, there's continuation can feel like a hard stop sometimes, but it's a constantly evolving thing.
And
so.
art is so important now more
art
than
is
ever.
so important. Yeah,
now more than the self-expression that comes in music.
for sure.
When you're sitting down to write, and I don't know how much you've done that this year, you said, but when you are sitting down to write, where is that inspiration coming from? Where are you pulling from?
You know, I'm not a prolific songwriter like at all.
Well,
Really,
I would argue
really
with that.
not at all. I mean, prolific in the sense of like, well, in all senses of the word, but I mean it specifically in this instance as it's not like I'm not a frequent, I can't just write a whole lot. Like if last year I wrote one song, I love it. It's a really killer song, but I feel like there's a couple of different ways of approaching songwriting, and I've always heard that, you know, if you're not writing through the crap or whatever, then you're not going to get anything good. But I feel like I just like hypothesize through the crap. I like make myself so sick of it that I don't even start.
Yeah.
And then eventually something will show up and it'll be decent, and then I'll be like, okay, well, this is a song, and then I just get that. So last year it was just the one, and I think I maybe had two before that, but yeah, I don't get a lot.
Well, I mean, but go with the winners.
Yeah,
it's working
exactly.
for you.
Thank you.
So I was reading a book this week, and it was talking about morning pages. I don't know if you've ever heard of that idea, but as a writer, just getting up and like free form writing about whatever for 2 pages or whatever it is, just to get the crap out.
Yeah.
And the idea is that so much crap does come out. It's amazing how negative you can be.
Yeah.
In the first light of day when you're like, "Brah."
Yeah, exactly.
But maybe that is helpful to get to the good stuff.
Yeah, I think that I think about that. I think about things. I think about concepts, and I just I literally like making like nauseating myself. I'm like, that's just terrible. And I do something else, and then
that's the hard part of being an artist, though.
Yeah,
you're gonna be your most tough critic
for sure. But in terms of inspiration and where things come from, it's a lot of like, you know, it's kind of what's going on, or sometimes I just pull things out of who knows where, and it's just inspirationless almost. But I think a lot of it is just kind of things that have happened in my life, and, you know, sometimes they're good things, and when they're not, I just try and make it as vague as possible so that whoever it's about doesn't figure that out real easy.
Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah.
Your creativity, it just feels like spills out of you, not just in music, but also in making clothes, jewelry. I do need to place an order for the moon necklace, by the way, before you leave.
Let's go.
Yep. Like your jewelry and your, like, talk about your artistry that isn't music.
That's huge for me. And especially in the last couple of years when I've been kind of, you know, at burnout central. Yeah. The creativity has been really big for me. You can't see them because they're like hidden, but I made this pair of jeans and I entered this like 365-day denim fading competition.
I saw that.
I got third place.
You got third place? I didn't realize that. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was crazy. I pissed a lot of people off because I was like one of the only women in there, and everyone was like, "Arr," and all this stomping around, you know, it's all fun.
I love that. Happy International Women's Day.
But it's International Women's Day, so suck it.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I know, it was crazy.
What made you decide to do that?
You know, I started liking, I never liked jeans, and I always tried not to wear jeans, which not that any of that matters, but like I just couldn't fit anything because I'm tall and awkward and my legs are too long. So I started wearing men's jeans, and I started making jeans. It just seemed like an interesting challenge of like trying to limit personal daily choices and like not take forever and a half to like get ready.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I can do that. Because you got to figure out who you want to be.
Same.
In a day.
Yeah.
And then how your clothes are going to reflect it. And it's exhausting. So I was just like, let's have some uniform going down here. So yeah, it was really fun.
Wow, that's trippy.
Yeah.
How long, because you sew and all of it, you make everything. How long have you done that? Was that like a childhood thing? Or?
I started I've always been like creative. I didn't start really making my own like sewing stuff. I started trying in college, and then kind of out of college, I started hand sewing, and then I started machine sewing, and then I started kind of designing my own stuff. And then it's been a really long road, but I mean, it's been probably since 2016, I guess. Almost everything's been mine. They just, for a long time, it looked like they.
It looked like it was.
Didn't look very good.
See what I mean by the muse? I mean, you make instruments. You made your harp.
I did. And
you make instruments. You make clothes. You make jewelry. You make music. Like, stop it. Stop. Give something for the rest of us. This is ridiculous.
Honestly, though, Chasta, I'm just so cheap. That's really what it comes down to. I have this expensive taste. I got this really bad budget, and there's no other way around it. Like, if you don't make your own stuff, you just. And I'm too cheap for custom, and I'm too particular for anything else. So it's like, if you don't make it, you don't get it. So
it's so much better than fast fashion. I mean,
yes,
I won't go down that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
but
well,
that is
we're
terrible.
the opposite of fast fashion here. These jeans took me 70 hours.
Wow.
I patterned and designed, and I'm slow as shit anyway. But yeah.
Wow. That's incredible. But how
Don't recommend.
cool to be able to like be like, this is mine. You walk around as your
I mean,
own.
that's the goal. If you make something, the goal is that you spend that much time and you get something that you hopefully like.
Yeah.
And I, over the course of a year, I wore them 353 out of 365 days. So I missed 12 days, and I'm still wearing them. I love them, and they're like one of my favorite things. I have no idea if I'll be able to replicate it, but like,
wow.
Yeah. And that was another interesting thing because I've never worn anything I made that long. So
yeah. But I'm okay. Now I am going down a rabbit hole. Sorry, but like think about
As we
that.
do.
Yeah, right. I have to process. Here we are, artiste processing. But I'm just thinking about landfill. Like I'm going there.
Yeah.
Like how much crap you're not buying.
Yeah.
And then purging and getting rid of, and
Yeah.
it just ends there rotting. Like you're making specific items.
Yes.
Limited specific items.
Yes.
And then using the crap out of them.
Yes,
Like, that's the purpose.
that's the idea. Although the wearing the jeans constantly really did shift kind of everything in my kind of maker's direction as well, because no one really likes to talk about this in the like kind of maker side of things, but like there's a lot of waste in making your own stuff too.
Okay.
And when you mess up, or when you make something and you find out you don't like it, and then there's a lot of that. And I've been reaching the point recently where it's like, I don't even like any of this stuff, like I've made it for years, and it's like you still end up with too much stuff. So
amazing.
I really have appreciated the kind of like, you don't need that much stuff. You just need really good things, and just wear them until they're dead, basically.
Yeah. Well, and you used to live in a tiny home. I don't know if you do anymore. But
Not anymore,
like,
no.
You have to be very specific about what you keep
My
around.
space is a little bigger though, but it's not huge by any means. And yeah, I mean, I'm looking at all the stuff that where I am now has like no closet. So you're looking at everything that you own all the time.
Yeah.
But I do think there's something to be said about just having your favorites, and it's not like limiting yourself or trying to make it negative or sad or hard.
Yeah.
It's just like, if you just have your favorites, then it's not like you're sticking it.
And it fits you. Like
Exactly.
these jeans I have on, like I feel so much better because I wear these jeans like almost every day.
Right?
Because I love them. They fit me. They're comfortable. I can breathe in them, but they
Yeah.
still like work for my weird body shape.
Yeah.
Those things are important.
Yeah.
And to feel confident in the world.
Yes,
And like to go
exactly.
out and feel like yourself.
Yes.
And to own who you are, which you're very good at.
Thank you.
Yes, my little muse. Speaking of, I'm going to manifest something for you.
Okay.
You've never played Bottle Rock, right?
I have not.
Why
no.
not?
Why not?
Why? Tom Hoppa, I'm
Why
looking
not?
at you.
Oh,
Why
no, I know
not?
Tom.
I
I've
know
talked
you
to
do.
Tom. Yeah.
I love Tom. He's
I know,
a
I
dear
don't-
friend of mine.
Yeah.
What? Dude, get on board. Like, what is happening? Because you are so, like, you would just blow the
I know,
roof.
I would
was gonna
love
say
that.
the roof. There's no roof at Bottle
Well,
Rock,
Tom's
but
the
you get
best.
the idea.
We won't hate on Tom. But,
No, I love Tom.
But yeah,
He
I
knows
would
that.
love that. I would.
You would be so great. Like every time I'm at Bottle Rock, I'm like, Ella needs to be on this bill. And we've had artists at this table and be on Soundwaves that have ended
That's
up on that
so
bill.
awesome. Love
we're
that.
gonna manifest it.
Yes.
I love it. Right? Yeah. Well, as you head off in this musical journey, stick with us. Let us know how we can help.
Always.
We're such fans of yours. You already know that.
So back at you.
I mean, seriously.
You are the most inspirational.
Oh,
I swear to
you
God.
need to
Every time
stop.
I'm like driving and I have obviously 107 on my speed dial on the
Thank
radio.
you.
And every time I hear her, I'm just like, yeah, like I know her. We're friends.
I love that. I love it. I love that we live in the same area too.
Yes, I
You need to
know.
play at OPL again because that's
I
like
do.
my favorite spot.
I do.
Has
well,
it been a
the
while?
band is going to play there on the 26th of April. It's Lisa Marie
Oh.
Johnston's birthday.
Oh, fantastic.
And also Eric Schickenberg, who played bass with us for a while, his band is playing as well. And it's his birthday too, so it's going to be like it's going to be fun.
My God.
April 26th, y'all. You heard it here
Mark
first.
it down. That's
Yep.
happening. Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I think she played there last year because I remember doing a commercial
Yes.
for her show.
Yeah, she
That's
had a great show last year as well.
Okay, well, consider us there. That's
Perfect.
fantastic.
Great.
All right, follow her, Ellaharp. Got to order my earrings. Order jewelry, all the things. Ellaharp.com.
Correct?
Right? And across the board, congratulations on your wedding.
Thank you
That's
so
the most
much.
important part. The artistry comes after. The relationship's important.
You know, it is important because it gives you that kind of stable
Especially
base.
since you found your yin and yang situation.
Indeed.
All right, you're watching Soundwaves TV. We'll be right back.
Here, hold on. Do we need to charge up? 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 Yes, we do. And boom! And we're back.
And we're back.
Yeah.
That was Ellaharp. Lots of stuff went behind the scenes on that interview.
Yes, it
If you'd like to
did.
check it out, go see it at our YouTube page, Soundwaves TV.
And a lot of things go on in the background, like Chasta spilling her drink as we speak. So glad you made it here on time.
Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome to the show.
And especially, you can see a lot of the behind the scenes stuff if you become a patron on our Patreon. All you need to do is just hunt over to patreon.com, check out Soundwaves TV. You can sign up, and then we got different tiers for you. So you get like different access to, episodes ahead of time, pre-releases of episodes, Soundwaves FM, a whole kit and caboodle of Soundwaves TV at your disposal
and
if you become a patron.
And you're supporting a good cause.
Exactly.
Because we're a good cause.
You help us pay for broken stuff like cameras and lenses.
And fix cleanup tea spilt on the floor.
Exactly. Yeah. But also, don't forget to check us out on all our social media accounts, Instagram, Facebook. Just search for Soundwaves TV. As simple as that.
And we're also doing a new segment.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
This time around, starting up.
Yeah, we're literally doing Ask Us Anything.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
anything.
Honestly, some of the questions I've seen so far, what? But you'll just have to, stick around and find out. That's going to be coming up here pretty soon. But also coming up right after this short break, we're going to be heading to the Complex.
Yes.
One of our great sponsors, Complex SF, where we get to see amazing Bay Area artists create amazing music videos.
Yep.
And we're going to be hanging out with Jared Harper, which actually, this is his New Year's Eve performance.
Okay.
And it's going to be coming up right after this.
This portion of Soundwaves TV is sponsored by Breakers, voted Pacifica's best daytime restaurant serving classic American breakfast, brunch, and lunch specialties. Great food, friendly staff, and amazing views with outdoor, dog-friendly seating. Life is better at Breakers. Open daily from 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Rockaway Beach. Check out the menu and plan your next visit at ilovebreakers.com.
And if you are a musician, we want to hear your jams. If you'd like to be considered for airplay on either Soundwaves FM on 107.7 The Bone or right here on Soundwaves TV, then go to 1077thebone.com/soundwaves. It's like sliding into the DMs of your crush, but with a higher success rate.
You guys are crazy, man.
Closed captioning for Soundwaves TV is brought to you by Green Room Music Center, offering rock camp, music lessons, a drum shop, and rehearsal spaces for rent. For more information, go to greenroommusiccenter.com.
Boris out here, on Soundwaves TV, heading into the final stretch of all the goodness we have in store for you. I'm pretty excited right about now because looking forward to a very special event that I'm going to be hosting in San Francisco. It's called Law Rocks, and it's pretty cool. What it's all about is a bunch of law professionals, if you will, all picking up instruments and rocking out for their favorite charities. So it's like these bands of law professionals, a battle of the bands, a battle of the law bands, if you will. So that's going to be happening pretty quick here in the city, and I'm going to be the host. So if you want to check it out, it's easy to find. Just go to lawrocks.org, and you can get all the info there. But it'd be a whole lot of fun, so I'm looking forward to that event. In the meantime, we've got another great performance coming your way for the final stretch. Another one that was recorded at the Complex in San Francisco comes from a recent New Year's Eve special from one of the Bay Area's fastest rising pop stars. Check this guy out. Jared Harper. This is his brand new single called I'll Find a Better Way on Soundwaves TV.
So if you need me when you know I'll be in town, don't tell me now, don't tell me now. Go away, or maybe stay. I need something that I can say. I only knew you drive me to somewhere that I don't wanna get. I'm on my knees, failing me, holding on to what we can be. You're on my mind, I hate to say, on my mind almost every day. You might stay awake, wondering I don't know why. I'm lying here today in my face. I had to hide away from my mistakes. I'll find a better way, I'll find a better way.
Hey, we're back, everybody. You know, one of the fun things, actually, you know what? Excuse me for just a second, would you? Here we go.
That was weird. That was like the universe just spun off its axis. That was not okay when Steve forgets to cheers.
That is true.
Yeah.
We're all
He
better
even
now.
interrupted what he was doing. He's
I
like,
know.
whoa. Hold on. What am I
Because
doing?
even I felt a disturbance in the force, you know? And
I can't be broadcasting right now. I need to finish
Need a
this.
beer.
Where were we? Oh, yeah, you know, so one of the cool things that we've been doing over the past couple of weeks is doing our questions from you guys. You know, ask us anything. And we've got one this week that's actually kind of fun. This is Ruben, our pal from Frantic Romantic. And, you know, we're big fans of Frantic anyway.
Ruben.
And Ruben is just awesome.
Yep.
You know, he is all over that shit.
Yes.
You know, when it comes to the band, when it comes to social media, when it comes to the videos and all that sort of stuff. He's the man. We love you, buddy.
Yes, we
And
do.
thanks for participating in this as well, because you just can't help yourself. You got to have your hands in everything. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. So this is the question that we got from Ruben, and I'm reading this for the first time. So let's see what we got here.
Yeah, I'm hearing it for the first time.
I'm a huge fan of all things Soundwaves TV. Thank you.
Oh, well, that's a
Thank you.
good start.
Thank
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers
Okay,
to
well,
that.
there we go. Okay. Okay. He goes on, because there is more. He goes on to say, I love seeing the Christmas special every year. And have you ever considered putting together a summertime fundraiser where on top of musical performances, you also include some decathlon games a la Revenge of the Nerds, made up of the Soundwaves community, and get captained by each host? I definitely watch that, especially if it's for a good cause. Signed, Love, Ruben.
Wow, Ruben.
You know, I mean, me. This is before your time, but Dennis will be up with me. The Battle of the Network Stars. You know, where by the way, all the female contestants that came up from all the shows. This was in the '70s when bras weren't a thing.
It was a different time.
and that was part of the draw for those shows is because they're in the swimsuits
yeah.
and the tight T-shirts, and there was.
I remember it well. It got me through puberty. Anyway,
Wow, they're really having a moment here.
So
Ruben,
thank you for that.
I need a moment.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I was thinking more American Gladiators, but either way,
It's
the mix of the
a
two.
generational thing, and that's okay.
It is.
You
That's
know?
all right.
It's just
I'm
ours
playing
has
the
more
role
tits,
of Joe
that's all.
Hawk for today.
Great.
All right, so yes, that is an excellent idea. And to be perfectly honest with you, we have discussed before about doing, because we do Soundwaves Christmas for closing on 40 years now, food, clothing, and toy drive, raising funds for local nonprofits and everything. But we have talked in the past about doing a summertime show, like Soundwaves Back to the Beach, or the end of the summer season kind of thing, where we have a barbecue, we get everybody together. We do a similar thing to what we do at Christmas, but we do it in the other half, because people need help all year round.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love the back to the beach kind of idea. That's really fun. Can you have bonfires legally on a beach?
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just wondering.
But the key question there is legally,
but once
we're shooting
again,
a TV show.
Some of our best TV is when we do things illegally. And the cops show up. That's
fair.
There's a whole section of our documentary that's about that.
Yeah, Well, we need to continue that spirit.
So in theory, we've got the Christmas show. If we do something in the summer, and we actually took this in mind, and we're talking about doing something end of summer kind of thing.
Yeah.
And remember, a few months ago, I floated out an idea about doing the Soundwave Spook Show.
Yes.
Doing a Halloween goth party.
Yes,
You know?
yes.
Could be the same thing. So we could actually we could split the year up into 4 parts.
Yeah.
We could have 4 different, completely different themed events, all about helping the local communities and stuff.
Love that.
I love that. That's great.
Ruben, yes, that's
I'm in.
great.
Yeah.
So Frantic Romantic is going to come out and play at these things, all right?
Right?
We get that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
we need
right.
a space
That's right.
big enough for like some
And-
games and stuff. That feels like a Devil's Canyon potential
It
situation.
could be a Devil's
'Cause
Canyon.
they have that big
yeah.
Sure.
outer
Sure.
area, you know? That
Right.
should be fun.
And if we
Yeah.
do the spook show thing, well, we need an area set up where we can do somebody doing tarot readings and stuff like that. We have to have all the different
Oh, now
stuff.
you're now okay. All right. Yeah.
She's on board.
I'm already planning.
Ruben, thank you.
Yes. Thank you for the inspiration.
Because I brought that up like 6 months ago, and everybody was like, "Oh, okay," but now Ruben brings it up, and now all of a
I
sudden,
just felt the temperature raise over
I
here.
know. I'm like,
that's
my
kinda,
wheels are like,
yeah.
my crystal ball out. Oh,
Awesome.
my God.
Thank you,
I'm so
Ruben.
excited.
That's cool. That's cool.
she's got her ball out on the table here.
I
and
do,
we're all-
yes. Yes, I do.
All right, I think that's enough shenanigans from us. We're going to say a big thank you to Morris Knight, Joey Mack, and Joe Hawk, as well as Ellaharp.
Yes, God, what a love.
I mean,
I know. She needs to be in our spooky show because she brings a cool mystical
Not
feel
to reveal too much, but when you guys were done talking, what I loved the most is how she was cool in herself.
Yeah.
But then when we stopped the interview,
Yeah.
she got real.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And political and sweary, and I was
Yeah.
just like, I love this girl.
I know. That's what's so great about
Yeah.
Ella is that there's a lot of layers.
Yeah. Yeah.
She is like a
definitely.
beautiful onion, and I mean that with all the love and respect in my heart, Ella.
As opposed to Shrek with the ogres have layers.
As opposed to Shrek. Yes, that's correct.
On that note,
Yes.
thank you very much for joining us again. We'll see you next week. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.